Hey guys, it's GHP and welcome to this week's installment of the Black Market. Today we're going to be looking at Combrei Aggro, a list that Magikarp won a ECL Sunday challenge with, qualifying him for their Invitational recently. And yeah, I'm going to go through the list and we'll play some games with it. So, the idea behind Combrei Aggro, generally speaking, has been, well, there's been two ideas. You could either play the deck as playing cheap units and then trying to stand together to play around Harsh Rule, or you could try to kill someone before Harsh Rule. This case, where we're playing cards like Gloaming Wisp and Distinct Infantry, we're really trying to kill our opponent before Harsh Rule. That's why there's no main deck stand togethers. We're not playing that style. So, let's go through the list. We have 12 1-drops. We have Initiate because it's Rip, and Rip is just great. Getting to play 2 spells in 1 turn is super important sometimes. And then we have Infantry plus Gloaming Wisp, which are both really good for turn 1 in decks that are trying to kill as fast as possible. There's very few cards that can keep up with Infantry when it comes to its rate of attack. Plus, we're playing Siraf's Beacon, so we could get more than 1 in power in a turn. And Gloaming Wisp not only just gives us another 1-drop, but it helps us dig towards like another threat if we need it. And the nightfall damage does matter when like this deck is trying to kill as fast as possible. We do have to keep in mind that every single point matters. So let's jump into our 2-drops. We're playing 16 2-drops. We're playing the classic Awaken Student because this is just a great Combrei card. It synergizes with our Empower, which it's Siraf's Beacon, which I'm gonna keep mentioning. That card's super important. So it synergizes with that. It just grows out of control quickly. It can live through Hailstorm sometimes, or Runehammer, or whatever you're trying to play against. We have Hojan because Hojan's the best card against aggro that other aggro decks are playing, basically. Sometimes you ramp with it and like Finest Hour it, or Vanquisher's Blade it. So that's like, there's the bonus synergy of sometimes you hit a double empowered a turn, which triggers your Infantries, your Hojans, your Resolute Monks. And it's just such a good card at snowballing games. If you play this, if your turn 2 is this, you empower it on 3, so it's a 4-3, you attack, you Finest Hour it, and then you play another unit, so you have 4 power at the end of the turn, plus gained a ton of life, and probably killed a unit that was blocking it. And then on turn 4, you can play like Vanquisher's Blade. Or you can play like Winchester Merchant into Vanquish, which are really big swing turns. I'm really high on this card right now, and I actually expect it to be one of the cards getting nerfed coming this week. Resolute Monk, it goes along with our power theme. A 2-mana 5/3 out of turn 3 is pretty good. Like when this card is attacking, it's extremely good. It might not have the lifesteal effect, but it's one of the hardest hitting creatures you can find, so units. I think Resolute Monk just suits this type of deck super well. And then we have Teacher Humility, because this card's an insane 2-drop. It's not too bad to cast, especially where we're already playing a time-focused power base. We have Diplo Seals, and we have Cykalis for Pledge. It's really not that hard to cast, and hitting with this can really just end certain matchups in your favor. I'm really high on Teacher, and even though I hate the card, it's too good to not include in a deck like this that could really maximize it. 3 Winchester Merchant, because I don't want to play Aurelia Merchant in this style. I don't really like the time cards, and there's a lot of really insane Justice cards in our market. Specifically, Auric Runehammer is like the best card in the market, and this card's insane right now. And also, the Vanquish is very good. So, I want these Modern Justice cards way more than any random time threat I could get or Zenith Initiation. That's not where we are. For Cykalis, because this helps turn on our 1-drop to Pledge, and it's also just an insane 4-drop in aggressive decks. Because you're already ahead, and then you just select 5 power worth of charge that can't be dealt with on the turn of attacks. It's really good. This card closes out so many games. We don't have anything like Dust Raider to give this Berserk, which is also kind of insane, but that's okay. This card is good enough on its own without Berserk. Now let's look at our interaction and our other spells. For Vanquisher's Blade, and 2 Vanquish. I'll discuss them together because it's easy to get to the 5 power because like that's so cool to your gameplay. It's important in your mulligans and such. But it also just buffs your units when Vanquish isn't good. It also triggers Hojan's Renown, which is important. I'm happy with this split. Even though Vanquisher's Blade is expensive, if we're playing and I have the decision between casting Vanquish and casting Vanquisher's Blade killing something. If I had those 2 options, normally I would rather Vanquisher's Blade, because not only do I not have to commit more threats to the board, but I'm actually buffing the units I already have on the board, while killing yours. Siraf's Beacon is kind of an insane card that doesn't see play because it's really hard to make work. So, it's a 3 power distinct infantry, and then whenever you attack with 3 or more units, you get a Justice Sigil from your deck, so you trigger a power. This card's really good, and you have lots of games where you go, I've done this plenty, where I go like, Initiate Sands into, a 1 power play and a 2 power play, into turn 3, Siraf's Beacon, trigger the Empowers, like, deal like 12. And I just played a Relic, so I didn't really have to commit too much to the board. And then 4 Finest Hour, because Finest Hour is super good, and it is it's the cheapest way for us to interact with the opposing units. We're playing Combrei. We don't have cards like Permafrost or Torch, but we have instead Combat Tricks and Faster Clocks. Play 25 power with 2 Crownwatch standards. The standards could be cut, in my opinion. I think this is the most questionable card in the deck. I don't think you play more than 25 power, even with so much in power, though, because Beacon gets you power, Wisp kind of gets you power, and you don't necessarily need to keep empowering in a lot of games, but I don't want to flood. That's a big thing. When this deck floods, it looks kind of awful. Let's go through our market quickly. Our 3rd copy of Vanquish, because sometimes this is just exactly what you need. Stand together to play around cards like Harsh Rule. Or Runehammer, because it kills everything right now. It's insane how many cards this kills. It kills Virgo, it kills Merchants, it kills Vera if you sacrifice a unit, which can give this deck problems. It kills Maiden, it kills all the Smugglers, I think I already said that. It also hits your opponent really hard, and some decks really struggle to kill weapons. Sword of Unity is here for aggro matchups. Sometimes you just play it as the 4 power weapon. Sometimes you get to 6 against aggro. But you want to stick this against the aggressive decks mostly. It's a little worse to stand together besides that, but that's okay. And then Aviagraft is here for either when you've already got the Vanquish, or you have to kill something that isn't vanquishable. And this doesn't come up too often, but this is a lot better than a lot of other cards I've looked at in this slot. This has been what I'm happy with, but this is definitely the card I've gotten least. Okay, so that's the deck. I think the deck is really good. I think maybe there could be a few more refinements, because there could always be a few more refinements in decks. But let's jump into some games. Alright, game 1 against Dark Revenger. Okay, so we have turn 1 Initiate or Gloaming Wisp. We don't really have a payoff. Huh, this is interesting. I think if I keep it, I leave on the lead on the Gloaming Wisp, actually. I think I'm going to keep this. This is definitely on the weaker side of hands, and you could definitely bulk it. But yeah, I'm going to lead on Gloaming Wisp because I want a payoff. I don't have anything to rep to yet. Game feels a little laggy for some reason. Okay, so probably Xenon. Teacher is excellent. These were 2 great pickups. Teacher is not an easy card to answer though, so let's get our Teacher down. It's Xenon. I probably need the Vanquish in the market. If they can't kill a Teacher, we're in an extremely good spot. If they play the Road Teacher when we get to Finest Hour through hours, most likely. Yep.
You're a sad bunch.
Alright, let's just attack, and we'll figure it out after. Let's see if they want to block. They do. It's Finest.
Take this.
Alright, so we have a decision point. we don't have the second justice to turn this on. So I at least am playing one initiate. I need to decide if I want to play the second one because we don't have second justice, which means I kind of want to market the second initiate away. And we can't Vanquisher's Blade unless we draw a justice anyway. So yeah, I think I'm only gonna play one initiate. Second teacher.
You're a sad bunch.
Sarah speaking. It gives me a justice sigil. So I'm gonna beacon. I think I just ace space. I expect him to trade teachers, but I guess there's a world where they kill my initiate, and it turns out we don't really care about that. That was a really nice try. It was better than a justice sigil. Okay, they're gonna trade. And now, do I want to play initiate? I think I do. I don't necessarily need to mark it. Like, all these cards are fine. I'll mark it away the next thing. But I want to make sure I keep hitting the justice sigils. If they play... Okay. That card's actually problematic. We don't have cheap removal. So this probably gets to trade with whatever he wants. I expect this to be Stray, which means I'm going to go get Stand Together and cast it here. I think I'm going to cast it for damage here. I know they could play Vera, but if they go... Okay. They play Vera, they take 6 here, they go to 14. And then I attack for 9. I put them to 3 next turn, so they need exactly Vera into Stray and undepleted and another power. Yeah, I'm going to just stand. Because I couldn't cast Stand... I can't go Vanquisher's Blade plus Stand unless I rip power anyways. And if they don't have Vera, we're done here. Because Vanquisher's Blade kills everything. Okay, interesting. 2 merchants in Xenon. How many Justice Scissors have we played? 2. Okay, there's 5 in the deck. Okay. I mean, I have no reason to do anything besides just attack. Kinda wish I couldn't... Like, there's no option here not to trigger Empower. I'm pushing damage. I'm very interested in what my opponent is building towards. Looks like they have Annihilate. It's fine. Why is my game feel kind of laggy? Sure. Augury, sure. That's annoying. Okay. I have 9 damage. I'm not killing this site, by the way. Like, that's not happening. So I'm trying to consider, do I want to just get Runehammer, give up my Vanquisher's Blade? Kill this, go to 6. Alright, they go to 6 power. I push 9 damage, they go to 3. This, they just scare something. And then Runehammer kills Vara if it comes down. And then I could kill through Moonstone Vanguard because I have aerial attacks. Yeah. Let's Runehammer this. I wonder if there's another Annihilate. There isn't. And yeah, I'm ignoring your site. So yeah, they could scare to pop Aegis, but I don't think, even if they have a Stray into Shadow, I don't know if it's good enough. Yeah, cool. 1-0. Alright, game 2. Gets Ridiculous Hat on the play again. So this is a Sarhan no 1-drop, but a student into Student plus Finest into hopefully Cykalis. This is a keep. You'll notice my rank dropped a little bit. This is the 3rd game I recorded, but I basically played a non-game where I mowed to 6 and my opener was 3 Vanquishers Blade and a Finest Hour with double time sigil. So we'll play our student. We do have a decision next turn on if we want a beacon or student. I suspect the answer will be student, but if I draw an undepleted power to where I know that I could trigger my Siraf's beacon, maybe it gets reanimator or scream. Alright. So I have no way to guarantee anything. Because this was a depleted power, either student power this turn, Cykalis next turn, or I beacon and then hopefully draw and deplete a power for Cykalis. This is where I wish this was a Justice Sigil. Because I can't guarantee, I'm gonna just go with student. So we have Finest. I'm not afraid to set up my beacon. I'm not gonna find out what my opponent has. We are the beatdown. Looks to be Rets, actually. Or the Relics Matters deck, whatever you want to call that deck. I can't see this being an okay matchup for my opponent, honestly. This seems kind of abysmal. Alright, so I can... Now I need to decide on if I'm going to play Cykalis, or if I'm going to play something else. Because how badly do I want this in power, basically. Because I could play Beacon, attack for 4... play Cykalis next turn, trigger both of these. So if I Cykalis, I attack for 9 here, they go to 11. Then next turn with the Finest Arrow, I probably just kill them. So yeah, I don't think I need to play for value. Yeah. The Relics Matter are really a Rats deck, really struggles with the aggressive decks. Because the Rats can't block. There's a lot of awkward cards. That's okay. If they have a second one, it's pretty good here. They don't, okay. I'll draw a discard. I'm gonna attack for 12 here, at least. I have to decide if I'm gonna play a power if I draw it. I could get that Naviograph the Rats, but I don't actually care about them. So I'm just gonna attack and figure it out after this. If that's their only block, I think they die. Jumping. I am Finest Arrowing. My opponent takes 7. I can Beacon, get the Infantry, and it sets up for next turn. I can Resolute Monk and then try to... which has Overwhelm. Because this has Overwhelm, I should play this, actually. Is there an argument to going Winchester Merchant and get, like, Runehammer? Because if my opponent plays Severin... Not really, because I'm just pushing too much. Okay. So they drew another Pitfall Trap in their last 2 draw steps. Or the last 2 draws. So they need to generate 2 blockers or 2 removal spells to kill both of these units. Okay. They didn't activate. They have like Equivocate. I mean, I'm just gonna find out. Yes, they do. Display. Okay. So now it's what's the best way for me to kill my opponent? And the answer is definitely a flyer. So I'm gonna get rid of the beacon. And now do I want Sword of Unity? It's not Runehammer. I could just get Aviograph, but this doesn't seem great. I guess is there a flyer I actually care about? Not really. So yeah, just get like Stand. Maybe my opponent's planning to take it with Equivocate. Opponent needs a unit before he can draw another card. Is there any reason for me not to block? Display. Because I can beat Display with Stand together, so... Cool. Alright, 2-0. Beat Rats. Alright, game 3. Dr. Panetic, I think is how you say the name. We're on the draw for the first time. So we have turn 1 do nothing, turn 2 infantry plus Gloaming Wisp. We don't have another power, the blade is kind of bad. I think I can do better than this. Sounds quite good. I need to decide what order I want to play my threats in. I do want to get Diplo Justice this game, which might impact my decision. So let's see what they lead on, of course. Alright, looks to be Huru. I think I do want to just get the infantry down. I think I need to go fast.
Stand aside.
So, they could have like Dust Raider. Their own Hojan.
Never break. Never stop. Never break.
We don't have very good interaction for Hojan. We can get the Runehammer, but yeah, Hojan's a problem. Not playing Valkyrie Enforcer or anything like that. My opponent didn't pledge though, at least, so they might not be the Pledge Matters version.
No escape.
No pause, which means triggering this might be difficult.
Trust in your skills.
Jeez. I mean, I just have to go get Runehammer. Like, I don't see another option. So I'll hide the fact that I don't have a pause. I think I would rather get rid of my flyer. And yeah, I have no reason not to keep attacking here.
No escape.
This is such a weird race, so I'm hoping my opponent misses a beat at some point. But my opponent's played double lifesteal unit, which is tough. There's no Sheltering Rider that's castable. They attack, they gain 7, deal 7, and then I want to. My plan is to. Well, that sucks. Okay, my plan was to kill the 2-3 and then chump with something on the 2-1 from my hammer. But now I'm wondering if I could maybe just play a bunch of dudes and then next turn try to hammer or V-Blade. And then I could maybe use the Vanquisher's Blade as a buff, yeah.
Stand aside.
I'm gonna hold back my 2-2, or am I? I'm definitely attacking with these two. How much do I care about Dust Raider? Like, I'm not am I blocking it if they attack? Probably, and I also threaten this, so yeah. Let's just go in for 7.
No escape.
This is one of those games, like, if we were on the play, we would have destroyed our opponent, because this Runehammer would have killed the Commando long ago. Like, we'd be in a much better spot. One nice thing about playing the Initiate is I actually get to cast Vanquish off the Vanquisher's Blade next turn. So I'm hoping my opponent's turn is like play a meal, which not all of these decks play, but it's at least an option that some people opt into. So we'll block the Dust Raider with our Windchest Merchant if we get a chance. We don't have another power, which kind of sucks. Like a power off the top here is actually pretty good, regardless of what it is. I don't know if that deck plays Crystallize. I'm going to just say they don't, because I can't beat it. Banner, fair chance that's from the market. I need to decide if I'm willing to block Hojan. Alright, I'm definitely doing this. And I think I killed the Hojan. That's why my opponent has a trick here. They don't. Because this Runehammer is looking better and better. Okay. Let's attack with just Hojan, because my opponent blocks out Finest. My goal here is I can maybe clear their board. I'm gonna be able to, if my opponent blocks, I'm gonna have so much tempo. Okay. And I'm gonna go after Commando. If my opponent plays the Sight and gives this +4/+4 and attacks for 12, I'm gonna take it. End of turn Finest Hour. Start my turn Vanquisher's Blade with Hojan, target this. I'm also not planning to block this, unless my... Well, I could block in Finest Hour, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna block with Initiate, because this is the least valuable. And Finest. My opponent definitely doesn't have Crystallize, because they would have played it already. I think. Okay. So they drew that crest this turn because they played a banner last turn, didn't use the power. Didn't represent anything either because they didn't use any spells. Okay. Well, this is going to be a great turn. So my opponent can make this a 9/9 next turn. But I can Vanquisher's Blade, target this, empower twice. Attack with everything for a lot. I haven't counted how much this is. 9, 19. So I'm definitely going to kill my opponents through the Sight at this point, which is nice. I don't know if my opponent's going to block. If he blocks Initiate, he gains 1, loses Shelter Wing. If he jumps, then whatever. If he blocks a Finest Hour, it does nothing. Okay. Just gonna pass. I think if my opponent had Finest Hour, they would have blocked and potentially used it on the Initiate. I could also have seen them just blocking a 5/5 and Finest Houring, but then I Runehammer it down. Like, my opponent needs the Shelter Wing Rider for them to have a chance to win the game. So it's kind of interesting figuring out how my opponent can play this, because they could buff this to a 9/9, and then if I draw power, my opponent dies. If I don't draw power, I probably die. Or, so if I play that, that gives me 2 lethal threats. Alright. And we're 3-0 with Combrei Aggro. Are we finally gonna get a 5-0 in one of these videos? That'd be nice. I need that to happen. Game 4 on the play against SWATs. We have 1-drop. We have 1-drop and a double 1-drop. Like, this is a fine hand. I need to consider how I want to sequence, because do I want the double Nightfall waste? Do I want to waste a Nightfall? I could lead on Wisp. I don't think that's right. The question is maybe next turn going Crownwatch Standard Wisp instead of double Wisp. But I'm definitely supposed to lead on Infantry. Okay. It's kind of interesting. So do I want the double Wisp? Banner doesn't really say anything. Could be phone control though. I think my hand is kind of so weak that I'm gonna go Tactic plus Wisp. And just put my opponent to 21. Kinda sucks to not develop and another person on the rat stack. I keep seeing people play this deck, and I will admit, I'm not a fan. Okay, they have Rat Cage and a Pitfall Trap. That hurts. And this is the best way for them to combat the aggro decks, for sure. Hojan, I value the life in this matchup. Because they need to have some cheap interaction and then try and race me with the rats. Like, if they don't draw a Rat Cage, this match isn't winnable, because they can't grind you out, necessarily. They actually have to race you in some way. So I can get the double in power by giving this +3/+3 off the tactic soon, which would be nice. Just for our Resolute Blink, attack it for 7/5 and what, 9/8? +7/+7, yeah. That's how math works. So unless they have a relic, they don't get to loot. They're playing Suffocate? Okay, that's not something I'm used to seeing. Cykalis or two guys? Actually, kind of just like playing two threats and then Cycalising next turn. I'm gonna play them and not show the pause. And I'm going to play Time Sigil because if I draw another power, I'd rather not waste my tactic. My opponent has Severin. How much do I care? They basically get to eat my infantry and take 12. That doesn't seem good. I think I'm happy with the fact that how we sequenced our Wisp. I think it was important to get that second card. Basically, we wouldn't have one of the units we've drawn. Secret Passage. That just... Like, Passage doesn't affect the board here. It's just one power make a rat, basically. Like, yeah, my opponent can push some damage. The good news for them is they do get to, if they want, they could pay one and draw a card. And discard. But they need to find more interaction. Okay, so they discarded a crest and then played a banner, which should give me some signal that they have a 2-power play they want to make. Could be Teacher, it could be a Spear, it could be Equivocate. So they have another thing they want to play here. Or they punted. They punted, okay. I'm gonna play the standard here. I would rather make sure I push the damage. I think my opponent made a mistake and now they missed out on a scout. I haven't been to the market. There's not a lot of things I'm scared of. They only have 2 relics too, so it's not like Stampede is that scary. If they play a merchant, assuming that they're on the list with Great Valley Smuggler, I can vanquish it. If they're planning to play an Ebon Dude Smuggler, that's a little more awkward, okay? That doesn't really matter. I have Vanquish for the Severin. Although Severin does give him a free activation of the Pitfall Trap. I don't know these cards by name yet. Discarding a Severin. Push 3, no pause here. I guess there's no 1 mana pause, and they already played their power. So Vanquish, and this should be game.
The darkness surrounds me.
Okay, 4-0. 4-0, and then we had the one game that I didn't show on camera. That wasn't really a game. Alright, game 5 on the play cam. We've been on the play about 4 of these games, and it definitely matters. Since this ends very, very good. Doesn't have any interaction, but my card quality is super high. turn 1 Infantry, turn 2, likely Hojan. You just want to get the most damage typically. So we can turn 2 Infantry, turn 3 Hojan, or turn 1 Infantry, turn 2 Hojan, turn 3 probably Student. That feels bad. This deck has a snowball problem, but my opponent just played the Echo, whatever.
Never stop, never break.
If it gets like Hoover Control, then this matchup is bad. Assuming that they draw Hailstorm. Like, Hailstorm, Runehammer, Snowballs, Defiance, all these cards are super bad for us. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the buff. We do need power, really bad. If my opponent doesn't have Hailstorm, I might be able to go Winchester Merchant, get Stand Together, and win off that. Okay, we're dead. Yeah, Snowball into Hailstorm is a sad time. I'm gonna play 2 threats and just get on the board.
Never break.
If this is anything into Harsh Rule, we're probably dead. Okay.
I will have justice. Welcome, welcome.
I'm considering getting Runehammer. I attack the Harsh Rule, I jam Runehammer and Data Razan. I don't like it. I think I'm gonna play as if they don't have Harsh Rule.
No escape.
They played the power I knew about off the Seek power earlier. So yeah, if this is Rule, then we can't win, but Wisp is actually a good draw. I'm just gonna play it because my opponent knows I got Stand. Let's be realistic. That was a really weak turn. I suspect my opponent doesn't have a Harsh Rule, doesn't have a Hailstorm. We know they don't have another Snowball because this is the only Echo they had. I will say, if we had gotten to, like, our Infantry could have pushed a fair bit. Second Hailstorm. Alright, so a third Hailstorm would be problematic. That's interesting. I don't want to get rid of my Cykalis. But I don't want to necessarily throw my Cykalis away either. Like, I want Runehammer really badly here. And I'm wondering if I'm supposed to give up Cykalis. Maybe I play Cykalis this turn. My opponent plays a Sweeper. Yeah. I am just going to attack with everything. I'm suiciding my Hojan. But I'm assuming my opponent has a Sweeper, potentially. To push a ton of damage.
No escape. Justice.
The Stand has pushed a ton of damage. Drawing the Gloaming Wisp is huge. Stormheart Knife would be tough. Okay. Yeah. Throwing Warden into Stormheart Knife is a swing.
Welcome, welcome.
And now I need my Runehammer. One has like Razan, we're dead. My opponent draws. Basically, if my opponent draws a way to kill my flyer here, we're probably dead. Like that. Wow, this draw. I mean, there's no winning from here, right? Attack with Cykalis, he kills. He blocks with something, I Runehammer, that's something, they Caleb's choice, they hit me. Yeah, we're dead. There's no outs to this game. Alright, we went 4-1. We, our last matchup was kind of our doomsday matchup, which is the guy playing Hailstorms Snowballs. Which, basically, that's typically who we control right now only. The Snowballs I can deal with, it's the Hailstorms that get me. But yeah, so following with this deck, I think this deck is going to be a player moving forward. I think there's a few ways to build it that we haven't really worked with enough yet. Maybe you should play Runehammer's main. Maybe you should play a slower build with Genetrix and sort of Unity's main. I'm not sure yet, but it's worth experimenting with, I think. So, yeah, 4-1 in games. Very pleased. And, yeah, I'll be back next week with a kind of a special installment of Black Market. We're going to be taking some of the buffs and nerfs we get and just building a bunch of decks with them instead of just targeting one deck. So for example, if we use Champion of Chaos, which we know, I'll probably talk about our Gunslingers deck from last time as well, and how that changes it. Yeah guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next week's episode.